Hello, gorgeous you. Yes, you. You're gorgeous. We're doing clearing blocks to courage. So let's get stuck in, shall we? Off we go. Right. So what's that running at? Blocks to courage. It's not too bad. It's 30 positive, but 100 negative. It's at spirit status level, so it's one above incarnation level. So let's get the high self teams to clear this up to 100 positive, 0 negative, and up to radiant love new paradigm level as an absolute minimum. You know how it works. You've seen it in the other clearings, hopefully. If you're new to this channel, then I've done lots of these free group SRT clearings, and these are just they're group clearings, so they're not going into any great depth for you, although let's not limit it. There I go again. Let's not limit it, because they may be incredibly powerful for you. They have been for many people. It's just that when you do individual clearings, we go through a lot more than what you see on here. This is just a taster. We ask a lot more questions. We go through your energy bodies. We go to deeper levels. Do take a look at my package. If you want to work with me one-to-one without the SRT, working predominantly on a one-to-one basis, then my experience, I have about 28 years of experience in therapy, roughly 27, 28 years. Also as an intuitive, so I've been a medium all that time, medium, psychic, intuitive, whatever you want to call it. Hypnotherapist, past life regressionist, transpersonal hypnotherapist, master NLP practitioner, EFT practitioner, theta healing practitioner, Reiki master, you know, all those various things, lots of different things. EMDR, I've trained in loads of different things, biomagnetism, trained with Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton, and oh gosh, loads of people. So there's lots of workshops. I've done tarot workshops, all sorts of workshops, you know, loads of psychic and mediumship stuff as well, lots of development there. So, and healing stuff, various over the years, reflexology as well. So I've got basically, I'd say I've got a lot of experience as well. I've worked with well over 1,000 clients over the years. Yeah, must be well over 1,000 clients now, in all sorts of ways. And you build up a lot of experience. I've learnt a lot along the way through experience. And all these things are tools. So they're trained in them. They're tools, you know, and it depends how you use the tools and who's using the tools as well. But I've cleared a significant amount myself over the years. I'm always a work in progress, as everybody is. Where are we going first? We're going chart. Let's just do that again. Where are we going first? Yeah, chart 1. Spiritual kick. Let's give everybody a spiritual kick here, which is a sort of jolt, really, to get the soul out of some entrenched patterns there. They also call it a rap in the skull. Yeah, so basically, I call myself an inner transformation guide now. So if you're working with me one-to-one, I dip in and out of using certain tools, and I feel I'm very, very empathic, and I feel into the energies. The one-to-one sessions are very powerful. We really look into what's not moving for you, what issues there, you know, where it's coming from. You know, there's everything from healing and therapy there to teaching in it, to intuitive insights, really whatever's appropriate for that particular client at that particular moment in time, and I will pull on whatever tools are needed. So they're very powerful sessions, and the SRT complements those sessions beautifully. So the best value package is the essential package, which has both the SRT and the one-to-one sessions in, because we're covering stuff from all angles, really, using different tools and exploring. And how much you move really depends on the client, how much they're willing to move. You know, it is governed by your subconscious, how much it's prepared to let go of, really. So Some people have enormous breakthroughs very, very early on, and others take longer, and others can get a bit scared sometimes because we're dismantling what you've known, and that can feel like you're in no man's land sometimes, you know. And we all have to go through no man's land at some point, because we're letting go of what we knew, or the way the modus operandi, and we're changing it. We're shifting old beliefs, old programs, old behavioral patterns, old ways of being, old emotions, and we're moving into new ways of being. Still clearing away here, looking at things in a new way, and that can feel very strange for the mind. The mind is used to, the mind likes predictability, it likes familiarity, it makes it feel in control, so that it's always assessing everything around it in its environment. And the moment you start undoing some of those things, all sorts of reactions can come up. So it's not for the faint-hearted when you go through a transformation process, but you must stick to it, because sometimes it feels like you're in the tunnel forever. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. You will get to the end of the tunnel if you just keep at it. You just keep shifting it. It's like you've been given a garden that is completely overgrown, or an allotment that's completely overgrown. And you think, oh my God, I've got to get through all of that to create what I want. And you do it, and you work at it diligently. And sometimes you feel like giving up halfway through. And some people do. Or even before halfway through, they take one look at it and think, no, I'll stick with what I've got for now, thank you. But if you actually stick with it, and then eventually till the soil and keep the soil turning over, then you can plant seeds in that soil. And then occasionally you get weeds that come up, but after that, it's just when you've gone through all of the hard stuff, and it could take years, and that's fine. You know, we'll always be working on ourselves for the rest of our lives. But the focus has got to be on creation as well. So it's not just clearing away. We have to plant seeds as well. So we have to clear away the rubbish, clear away the weeds and everything else in order to till the soil, in order to plant the seeds. But there will still be weeds that come up. So that's how I equate transformation. Chart 6A, we're going in now. Master programs. Fear. Apathy, abandonment, betrayal. Do they have past life roots? They do. Let's clear all of those away. Master programs, underscore energy, all levels of consciousness on chart 3. So once you've got your overgrown garden, once you've worked through it, I mean, at the same time as you're clearing areas of the garden, you can till the soil and plant the seeds. So you know, we have a combination of clearing away the rubbish and creating at the same time. So for me, I focus predominantly on clearing. And the thing is, if you do that, you will always create more stuff, because your focus is going in that direction. There'll always be more to clear. And there will always be more to clear, because we're not just living this lifetime, we're also living other lifetimes at the same time as this, at a quantum level. So there's always going to be programs that are established from experiences. So you have to be clearing away your garden, your landscape within your mind, but you also have to be planting new seeds. You also have to be, you know, focusing on creation, bringing in things to create, planting those seeds. So reinforcing with changes in behavior. So if you're clearing something away, then we reinforce that with a new way of being, a new way of acting, or we focus on meditations of creation, what we want to create, what we want to bring into our lives. So we're doing both. That's really important, to do both. Right. And having the courage to go through a transformation process, I mean, it takes enormous courage, because it's you know, it's painful, dysfunction of mind. This is programs created by spirit. This is chart 10b, so this is the first line of programming. So if something's not clearing, it'll be running in this place here. So let's just clear dysfunction of mind, clearing all debts, depths, levels, ranges, limitations, everything, everywhere. What was I saying? I can't remember. It takes enormous courage to go through a proper transformation process. I know some people out there, quite a few people out there, who have very big followings, and they've done some shifting away, but there's stuff they don't want to look at and they keep it locked away, and you know, that's up to them. It's their life, they can do what they want. But you can see it in them, they're still very tense and very tight-lipped, and you know, you can see that there's stuff they don't want to delve into. And the thing is, if you don't address it, you're going to have to come back and do it again. You know, you don't want to leave anything undone. You don't want to leave this life with any regrets either. You really want to deal with everything, and it's so rewarding when you do, when you really face, and it takes enormous courage to face that the big beastie of, you know, what you don't want to face. It takes enormous courage, but it's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. And no matter how long, you know, the ego says, well, how long is it going to take? It's like, hurry up, you know, enlightenment, I haven't got all day. It's that thing. How long is this going to take? I don't want to be doing this for years. Well, it will take as long as it takes. It will take as long as your mind is willing to let it go, whatever it is. And sometimes that's a case of pulling back the fingers that are clinging onto it gently and coaxing it. Sometimes we have to coax the mind gently until it's ready, you know. Chart 13, programs before creation. It takes as long as it takes. And when you recognize that that's the ego saying that, the ego is, you know, the self is saying, well, how long is it going to take? It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter. Codependency is spirit on God. And when you hear, let's clear all of that away. And when you hear the ego saying that, you have to remember it is the ego saying that. How long is it going to take? I don't want to be doing this all my life. Well, you will be doing it all your life. And that's okay, but you won't be doing it to the same extent all your life. You'll be keeping your garden. Once you've done all the hard work of the transformation and you get to a stage where you start to really think, yeah, you know, I'm quite content with who I am, and I like some of these behaviors I've changed. I like what's emerging now. Then all you have to do is pull out the weeds as they come up, you know, because we're all going to get triggered at some time or another. We just have to pull them up when they come up then, you know, and focus much more on creation of what we want to create in our lives then. So if everything is flowing nicely, then all you have to do is just do a little bit of weeding every now and then. So it doesn't matter how long the transformation takes. Just recognize that's the ego there, and it kind of wants to sabotage as well, because it wants everything to be predictable and familiar, and life isn't like that. That's a fearful part of the mind. Dysfunction of the I am level consciousness. Let's clear that away as well. Transformation takes as long as it takes, and for some people it can be very quick, and other people, like me, it took forever because I have a very strong mind, and because I like to be in control, and although a lot of that has fallen away, I still like to be in control to a certain extent. So and that's okay, that's the way I am, but I'd like to let go of more of that, and I will gradually and in due course. But for some people, it's like some people can, you know, have one session and it's just transformed everything. And other people, it's like, well, maybe something slightly changed, but not very much. Well, that depends how strongly we're holding on to stuff by our fingernails, you know, in our subconscious mind. Usually the stronger the mind, and the more stubborn you are, the more stubborn the mind. And I have been known to be a bit stubborn. The more you hang on to some of these programs. So for me it took forever. But I finally I finally saw that sort of light at the end of the tunnel a few years ago, and I've never looked back since. You know, there's so much more contentment in my life these days, and but my goodness, I was in no man's land for years, fine-tuning at the one level, and let's clear that away. And I was always someone that, a bit like Scarlett O'Hara from Gone with the Wind, you know, I won't think about it now, I will think about it tomorrow, because tomorrow is another day. Obviously it's a very poor accent, but it is that's how I used to be. I would bury it and think about it another day, and that was my survival mechanism, like so many. So I lived off my adrenals for many, many years, and I had to undo all of that, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, etherically, you know. I had to undo it, and that took a long time. But we can have fun with our transformation as well. We have to learn to laugh at ourselves, because that's essential, I think. We take ourselves and we take life way too seriously. Chart 29. I'm a bit chatty today. Anything on the inside? First draft, which is like the first draft of plans for house. So let's just clear that away. Clear the first draft away, because the first draft will have all the little errors in it as well. Bits that have changed. Notice also any comparisons you ever make with other people, or, oh, she said that and he said that, and that isn't how it is because of X, Y, and Z, whatever. Comparison is always coming from the ego. Everything is spiritual. Everything. Everything is spirit. Right, that's chart 29. Anything else before mop-up? So let's go to mop-up, where the bulk of the clearing takes place by your teams on the other side of life, using their 200 plus charts. Okay, everything done? Yeah. Is there any other business, anything else to clear? Doesn't look like it. Is the soul free? High self teams happy, souls happy. Let's just see where we are now with blocks to courage. What are we at now? 100 positive, 0 negative. That feels lighter again. And at radiant love, new paradigm level of consciousness. There we go, all done. And you know what you have to do after. And may you have lots of courage in your life, and may you be blessed with bounty and abundance and prosperity and health and goodness and joy and laughter and all of that. So much love from me to you. See you on the next clearing. Lots of love.